Hi, everyone. Today we want to focus on the specific ways in which the media helps to shape and inform public policy, including our notion of what constitutes crime and what should be done about it. We have ample opportunity this week on the heels of the school shootings in Parkland, Florida, to consider how media coverage of them has shaped our perceptions of crime, mental illness, gun ownership, and school security. As we head into next week and you begin or continue reading in the Santos book, pay particular attention to what Postman said in chapter 2 about the creation of crime waves. By now you've read and understood the contributions TV news makes to our perceptions of what people and events are or should be significant. Postman gives the media, and TV in particular, a pretty bad rap for its short-sighted, manipulative, and profit motive characteristics. But we will want to examine the media this week in a little different light, including its ability to disseminate information rapidly around the world, its ability to inform us about events that occur around the world, and its ability to be used as an educational tool. I really want you to consider the first point on this slide with some deliberation. If social work policies are aimed at improving the conditions and lives of our vulnerable populations, how can the media be used to shape social work agendas? This question will resurface in your second readings analysis assignment, so be sure to give this issue some considerable thought as you move from the Postman readings to the Santos readings. One effective way to advocate for policy change is through the use of storytelling. Storytelling can create powerful images in the minds of citizens and elected officials. Having your clients, with consent of course, share their stories with the media not only brings a human element to the story, but helps to establish relationships with reporters who can be your allies in the future. We saw from Postman that it is often not the journalists who decide what stories will be covered, but the members of the business-oriented management team. But a compelling story that has general human interest, like the school shootings in Parkland this week, also have a strong business interest because they are so widely viewed. It is important that you learn to co-opt journalists, politicians, and other supporters to give your issue visibility in print and other forms of media. But it is important that you are careful in your policy analysis to determine who those appropriate people are. And when you do solicit their support, be mindful that you must never go to them with a problem for which you do not have the solution. Another consideration for effective use of the media is how dramatic you want the issue to appear in order to advance your social policy agenda. Drama by itself is never enough reason for someone to support your cause. You always want to include a strong element of what I call exposition, or a thorough explanation as to the relevance of the policy. For example, who does it affect? What resources will be required to implement the change? What are the political costs of implementing the policy or policy change? In doing so, you want to be careful not to, what I call, throw shade. Throwing shade means to diss or criticize another policy. You won't be able to advance your social policy agenda simply by dissing or criticizing currently existing policies. It's important to point out their deficiencies and their limitations, but by itself, that is not enough in order to advance your own policy agenda. Be wary of using legislative blitzes to affect policy change. Most legislators could care less what someone outside of their represented district thinks. Even Facebook petitions have limited effectiveness with politicians because anyone can simply click on like. The best piece of advice I can give you about effective use of the media for policy change is to know what you want and why you want it. The how of making it happen always flows from the what and the why. Can you think of some other ways that the media can serve social reform other than as an educational tool? Does the coverage of media events provide a, quote, window of opportunity, end quote, for social reform? What about the situation this week in Parkland? Do you believe that the student-led grassroots activism forming there constitutes a, quote, tipping point, end quote, for how we prevent these shootings in the future? Take some time this week as you begin to read the Santos book to see how your notions of crime and punishment are informed by the media coverage of the events in Parkland. If you wanted to affect social reform to stop school shootings, what would be your most effective avenue for doing so? Next week, we'll raise this issue again in relation to our reading of the Santos book. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you then.